All right. So unfortunately, Jeff was lost his voice tonight. So ended it quick there. It's hopefully he's okay for tomorrow. Could be our Rockfin exclusive tomorrow. So excited for that. No Crown Royal left. This is a little bit left, I guess, but I'm gonna grab some tomorrow. Hopefully, if I have time. Um, Crazy day today. Well, not crazy. Went down, used up all my Tim Hortons gift cards, all my five Tim Hortons gift cards. Got 25 packs of cards and a cafe mocha. I get all those. I get $10 a week from when I go down to if I go down to Veterans Outreach meeting every afternoon. So I would never myself. I'd never spend any money in there. You know, after what they did to all the non-swimming children from camp this summer. I actually made a video because last year it was, I think Tim Hortons Day was June something. So I went in that day and asked, and of course it was a lady who didn't really understand English. I was like, she didn't offer me to ask if I want to donate to kids camp, and I'm like, where is the donation bin for the non-swimming children for camp? She had no idea, and then she told me, oh, that's next in 2 weeks or whatever it was. So unfortunately I never went back for when it was actually kids camp day, Timmy's. But anyways, so I went down there in the morning, and then I went over to Vets Outreach, so they could help me with my resume. I don't have a resume, don't have a laptop anymore. This is why I'm holding my camera. It's funny, I've just been thinking over the last, I forget when I got my first laptop, early 2000s, maybe even earlier. I have got lost slash stolen every laptop I've owned. So that's like 5 or 6 laptops. I'm getting sick and tired of buying laptops. My buddy did, former buddy, I guess. I like the guy, but he's a ex-tired. He donated. He gave me. He had him in storage. He had a 55-inch TV, and then there's a 25-inch. I'm gonna use that. Um, and use that as my computer. Gonna buy a wireless keyboard and a mouse. And I was talking to Jeff, and he gave me an idea on a mic. So I'm gonna try to make it a little better. Going to pick out some furniture on the 11th, the day after my birthday. Um, so hopefully get some stuff like a little desk or something, and so I don't have to sit on my bed. I only have a bachelor now, so there's not much room in here. Even though I lost everything like last year that I own pretty much, still even though last year I accumulated quite a bit of stuff, so it's not much room in here. But yeah, so it's interesting. But anyways, so that's what happened today. And I had an interesting conversation with James. He's former military as well. He was a master corporal, and I forget what he did, but he told me a story because I was like started talking about stuff. And my brother, who was a Afghan vet, and I said, yeah, my brother. Like I told him about my brother's replacement was killed, and he recognized the name Matthew Dinning, and I was like, that was 2 weeks after my brother left. He got they all the MPs that were in that Humvee or whatever it was, they got blown up by an IED. So 2 weeks before would have been my brother going that same route. So, and I told him that my brother was having dinner with Glenn Berry the night before he was killed, and the only civilian that was killed, Canadian civilian, anyways, in Afghanistan that wasn't military. And he said, "Oh, interesting. My friend was driving that Humvee," and I'm like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah, he I was like, and he survived. I was like, whoa. So he goes, oh, he knows my brother and probably knows my brother. And because my brother had dinner with Glenberry the night before, because he was then when you're an MP, you're like you always have to be close protection with the the special people that come to visit in Afghanistan. I think he was like in the government somehow. Anyways, so the next morning he's picking up his body parts. So I don't know how his buddy got lucky. Well, I don't know. Just consider him lucky. He says he's after that it took like they left him in Afghanistan for like 6 months because they couldn't even move him. He was that messed up because he was in and out of consciousness. So they moved him to Germany, and they were like, I don't even know if we can go back to Canada. So finally, I forget how long James said they flew him back to Canada, but he's like a shell of his former self. He has like no memory, nothing. He's might as well be a vegetable, I guess. Like he's lucky to be alive, obviously, but yeah, he's pretty sad, man. It's small world. And the other thing is the guys I worked. Speaking of small worlds, the other guy I recently did a painting job for this guy. 3 days painting an exterior house, working for him, and he had. I was supposed to meet him yesterday because I told him I was going to Vets Outreach, and he's like, "Is that on Gladstone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "My wife works there." I'm like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Is she the cute little blonde?" Because every other girl that I saw there was older. He didn't respond. So, anyways, I went down today to meet him. He was gonna meet me there when I went down to get my resume fixed, and he's like, "Oh, I just dropped the money off to my wife." So and I was like, I did a double take because she was blonde when I saw her a couple weeks ago, and she changed her hair color to brunette, and I was like, "What the hell, Jordan?" I was like, I almost didn't recognize her. He's like, "I actually did that recently." Anyways, so got the money, talked to her for a little bit, and then went up and got my resume fixed up, picked up a few things, and then went home. So I got home. Uh, oh, went to picked up some cards at Walmart with my Walmart gift cards, and then came home. And I got home and did this a little bit of meditation, and when I got out of that, it was just in time for late night in Heartland, so I didn't even have time for a shower. So that's why I had to shower after the show tonight. Wanted to look a little presentable, anyways. Had to put the beard oil on, so I feel a lot better. And so watched the show. Just finished watching the show before my shower, and so I decided to go on live. So I know Kira J was saying that she she tried to chat the last time I was live, or I don't know which one it was, but she said I didn't see her or couldn't hear her texts. So top chat, I'm gonna change it to live chat, all message visible, so that way I can see everybody's. If anybody does show up, I think Steve says he's not gonna be here. He's going trucking the next few days, so usually he's the one that hangs out with me. So far nobody's here, but they say they're gonna keep an eye out for me tonight. So we'll see if anybody joins. Anyways, so that was pretty much my day. Did my meditation, woke up just in time for Jeff's show, and yeah, so and here we are. So without further ado, I think that's enough. I can't think of anything else that happened today. No, that's pretty much it. And so let's get things started. I got a nice buffet here of stuff I haven't eaten much today, so except for lunch. So we got the pre thing. It was a short show tonight, so I might as well let it. I could have fast forwarded through this, but we'll let it play out. That way I can kind of start by eating some stuff. I should probably take that out of my cheesecake first. I just jammed it into my cheesecake. So I was gonna call it late night in Canada, Stan, but I just decided to call it late night. Maybe call it late night in Canada Stan next time. Tomorrow night they're on Rockfin, so most likely he said. So I might go do an older version of the show, like a replay, like I did the other night when he wasn't on. Ooh, that's a little loud, eh? It's always loud when it first starts. Turn it down a little bit. That way we can hear him.
Well, hello, we are live from the
It's just the music
Heartland.
goes loud.
I'm Jeffrey Darty, the Christian whistleblower. Excuse me. 25 years Protestant minister, 20 of those full-time Bible college graduate.
We won't hold that against him.
25-year Pentecostal preacher. So
here we are.
Ready to rock and roll it tonight. We're going to bring to you the judgment seat of Christ. What is it? And who
Nothing good.
is he? Wow, it's going to be a
He
power-packed
is
program.
a
Christians
kebab.
are welcome to call in.
Jesus kebab.
If you dare. Somehow I don't think we'll hear from many of them because, well, we never do. But we are hearing from Charles Glenn and Linda Ferguson and Nina, John Peters, Michael Musgrave, Allegory of the Sheep is here.
No.
Excuse me, Douglas Slyman.
I like that name.
Who else we got? Brandon Sullivan is in the house. Jan Simp is here as well over in the Rockton chat room right now. Rockton's our go-to platform. Bonnie's the best is here. Diane is here.
Nice.
Nice to see all of you. Nice to see
Right
all
on,
of
right
you
on.
here. Okay. And now let's go over and say hello to everybody in the YouTube chat room.
Yay!
Ione, Freedom, Aaron, Jama. Nice to see Christy and Michael. Super Galactic. Dot Matrix
Planetary.
Tenebris is here.
Michael
Smoochie's in the
Tenebris.
house. Mind Over Magic
Smoochy.
is also here. Sally Sarah Brown. Nice to see you. Jay Blaze in the house.
Jay Blaze.
Local
Blazing.
Native 420. Emperor's here. Ron's here. Tracy Dyer is
Tracy
here.
D.
And it's just great to see all of you in the house tonight.
And this
So
is
let's go ahead and jump into our deep program. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's
We
a
always
powerful
do.
program, deep program of a program, and it's going to be something that we all are
Fantastic.
looking forward to seeing. But we have, I think we have, before that, I think we have some Cousins content.
Nice.
What is Cousins content? Well, that's
The best kind of
Cousins share
content.
things with me throughout the week, and some of it is so good. All of it's really good, but some of it is so good that I just have
So
to show
good.
it. And this is what we have for Cousins content. And there's about 4 Cousins content on this one. So let's just talk about this a little bit. Did you know that China has established police stations in New York City? They've also established police stations in Canadistan, in other words, Canada, for those of you that don't pick that up. They've established police stations there. The Chinese
shock.
government has established overseas
They
police
do own
service
both
stations
countries, so not a
to
shocker,
keep
really.
track of their citizens abroad.
So they say.
Now think of that in a minute. The Chinese Communist
Shouldn't be allowed to
Party
do that.
government is being allowed by the mayor of New York City and the mayor of 2 Canadian cities to establish Chinese government police service stations, presumably with jurisdiction over Chinese people,
Wow.
to actually exist in their country.
Christians
in their
call us
state.
Satan.
What is the governor
They
of
won't
New York
have a
City think?
discussion with
What
us.
is the governor of New York
I
think?
guess the
Well,
devil
no
is more
answer to that.
powerful
But
than them
what about
and their
Saint
God.
Ron? You know,
Rat
Ron,
bastard.
the Saint Ron
Just the
DeSantis.
facts scare them.
What
Just the
about
facts.
Ron
That's all we're doing,
DeSantis in
folks. We're just
Florida?
giving the
He's
facts,
the
right, cousins?
greatest. If Trump doesn't do it, then Ron will. That's
Ronald.
funny, because the Capitol Police, as in the Washington, D.C. Capitol Police, have opened up multiple offices in Florida
Wow.
to handle threats to Congress.
Crazy.
So if Ron DeSantis is such a hero, if Ron is such a great guy,
Sounds like a 0 to
why
me.
is he allowing the federal government to usurp the sovereignty of Floridians by putting Capitol Police departments in their city? Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
It's hard to
Well, I
believe.
can.
But I can, because I'm looking at it. I have a little bit of throat trouble today.
Black and white. Nah, stuff. Hopefully his throat's better tomorrow.
Ah, okay. And this came from Colleen, I believe. Christians call us Satan. They won't have a discussion
I
with us.
wasn't sure if he was going to
I
read it
guess
or
the
not.
devil is more powerful than them and their God.
Obviously.
Just the facts scare them, says Colleen. And she's right.
Nothing but the
This
facts.
next
They
one,
call him.
I've got to pull it up somewhere. I've got to pull it up because I don't think I can take that. I don't think I know it
I'm
won't
gonna have
pop,
to check
but
it
I don't
out
think
because
I can take
he
it.
couldn't pull it up, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
check it out
it's not
myself.
All right, I want to show you this because this is really, really crazy. I think it was sent to my email. Let me see if I can just show it to you out of email. You're not gonna believe this thing, man. This thing is absolutely crazy.
Cray.
What's going on? And what time did they say to go to? Go to at 48:15. This coming to us from Bob.
What about Bob?
4815. I had trouble getting this. No.
Free publicity for handout Jones.
Okay. Now here's the problem. This video here won't give me the bar that runs the time on it.
Wow.
Have you seen the video? The guy's tweaking. It's freaking amazing. It really is.
I'll have to check it out.
It's amazing. It's terrible. It's awful. It's informative. All
At least he
this
wasn't
stuff.
twerking.
God damn it, Alex Jones.
Poor Joe.
It's all shit. Don't buy Alex's stuff. And all of a sudden this thing won't let me. It won't let me play the video. But it shows a guy with some stuff getting activated, and it's probably for the best. I don't need to show that on Facebook. Probably for the best. We'll do that one on Rockfin another night, but wow. Fan.video and a bunch of numbers. You can see it on the screen if you want to go to it and watch it. It's worth your time. All right, guys. Let's go ahead
Bunch of numbers and characters.
Press on
And letters.
with pride, because we do not have original sin. We've got the spark of divinity within.
Divine, sovereign, and
Listening
free,
to
cousins.
Live from the Heartland. And let's roll on. Let's look at, here was the cousin, here's some more cousins content. This is how good the cousins are. We have all of this content. Have you heard the story? Oh boy, I can't remember.
From the Brady Bunch.
Well, we'll try. Have you heard the story of the Sanibel Island Torah that was saved
Yeah.
from getting wet and destroyed by
Jeff
God
talked about
Almighty?
it not too long
Yeah, the
ago.
same God Almighty that let the hurricane destroy the synagogue. The
Aw.
same hurricane that destroyed the bridge to the city. The same hurricane that cost them probably $1 billion for the damage. Yeah, the same God that caused all those things caused the Torah not to get wet. That's the
Just like all
biggest
their wives.
miracle since those
Their wives don't get
passports
wet.
that survived 9/11.
Ooh. Miracles.
And this cousin goes on to say, when you speak, we all die, die well. I think of all the Christians that took the thing because they were afraid of dying.
This is
And
interesting.
from what this cousin's
Parsley
saying,
salad. Interesting.
they're not dying well.
No, definitely not well. Young,
Did you
really
know that
young
the
too.
royals always traveled with a supply of their own blood, and they also forbid, at least the queen did, for garlic to be in their food.
Of course. They're probably
the queen
vampires for sure.
And are
No
the
garlic.
current royals, are they vampires? If it looks
They're
like
definitely
a vampire,
cold-blooded
walks
for
like
sure.
a vampire, talks like a vampire, it might be
Needs
a
blood like a vampire.
Now, what was this video I wanted to show you? It was down here on BitChute. Zombie alert.
Zombie. F the
What is
zombies.
the zombie alert one?
As Steve
I don't
Boyd
know if I
would
can play it
say.
on YouTube.
Aw,
I
man.
don't know if I can play it on YouTube. We'll play that one on Rockfin.
All the fun stuff you can't
A little
play on
bit
YouTube.
later.
Anyway.
Okay, that was a big fail, but it was still pretty cool. There was some good stuff, right? A little bit of a fail, but that's all right. We'll move on. I'm not on my A game tonight, so bear with me, and we will get some
Even his B game is
done,
fantastic.
all right? Okay. The judgment seat of Christ. If you've ever been in a church,
What is it?
if
Who
you've
is
ever
he?
been a Christian, if you've had anything to do with things biblical, this is one of the most terrifying portions of the entire text. It's like, it's worse than missing the rapture, because after this one, you don't get a chance to have your head cut off and try to continue living. It doesn't work that way at the judgment seat of Christ. I want to break this down and hopefully break down many years of fears and even get a head start on those
Fear the
incomes. 'Cause I want
beard.
to talk about the judgment seat of Christ, but I want to show you what the judgment seat of Christ is. And I want to show you who Jesus Christ is. And
As an
I think
archon.
it'll help you feel better and fear less. So let's jump right in. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 10. Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that while we're at home in the body, we're absent from the Lord. For we walk by faith, not by sight. And we are confident, I say, and willing, rather, to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Wherefore we labor, that whether present or absent, we might be accepted of him. For we all
I don't want to be
must
accepted.
appear before the judgment seat of Christ. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ.
No thanks.
That everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Dum, dum, dum. One of the most terrifying portions of Scripture in the entire New Testament. Because what will you do? Do you have to worry about it? Are you going to face it?
I'm not worried.
Well, let's take a look. And let's break it down verse by verse. Can we do that? I hope this won't go backwards on me. It did go backwards on me. So let's take this verse by verse, section by section of the script. Let me check the text message to make sure it's not a bad text message, like you're doing something wrong. No, Jason Bowles, a $20 tip. Thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate it so very much. On Rock Band. Kirk Porch, a $5 tip. Lazy Mac, a $20 tip. Jason, prior to that, a $10 tip. And $5 from Michael McCracken. 20 from Nina.
Phil's brother?
Morocco. 5 from Vicky Lloyd.
Good old Phil McCracken.
Thank you all so very much for those great
I'm sure he's heard that joke before.
donations. We appreciate it very, very much. Okay, so we're going to look at this, and we're going to look at it verse by verse, and sometimes word by word. And what did verse number 6 say? Verse number 6 said, well, we'd rather be absent from the body than be present with the Lord. But let's look at this, because it seems weird to me, because it doesn't seem like Jesus is doing what he said he would do. It gives
What a
me a little
shocker.
bit of problem. It doesn't sound like the word is squaring up. It just doesn't. So we're going to look at these words, and we're going to look at them in depth so you can get an idea of what we're doing and where we're going. It's very, very important. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 10. All right, let me get over here to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And let's roll over to King James Version, and we'll go to 6 through 10. We just looked at this, so now we're going to bring you into the Bible Hub screen. I got a lot going on here tonight, guys. I apologize, but it's not the easiest thing that I'm doing right now.
It ain't easy.
In fact, I can't even find my Bible Hub. What's the deal? Entire screen.
Ain't easy being cheesy. I don't have my Cheetos. I have Cheetos, but I don't have them here.
Oh.
I would have been perfect if I was eating Cheetos and I said it ain't easy being cheesy.
So, therefore, we are always confident that while we're in the body, we're absent from the Lord. Wait a
Lord.
minute. Let's look at this more in depth. Therefore, we are always confident. What are we confident of? What does confident mean? We always have good courage. But that doesn't make sense. We have to show boldness. We have to be of good courage. We have to hold on. We have to wait. Do you see that this is waiting on? Having confidence in, having courage in. This is something where you're having to wait on somebody. And what are they having to wait on? Therefore, we're always confident, knowing, we know. Do they wonder about it, or do they know?
We're going to have to save these for...
Now, while they are at home in the body,
blank on his name.
alive, they're away from the Lord. They are away from home. They are absent. They are abroad. They are gone. So while you're at home
Gone.
in the body,
I always give Don my chips.
it says you are
I don't think he's
absent.
coming out of the hospital. Though.
Away. What's away mean? You are
He's got
away
bored down
from.
his cancer,
you are absent from
not good.
God. What kind of a God
Some cancer at Gory House.
leaves you and forsakes you? Especially when, watch this, in Matthew 28 and 20.
These are also my dad's favorite chips.
Matthew 28 and 20. How nice do I have to catch Jesus in before you stop believing in him? Come in.
Come in.
I wonder, yes I do, but I really don't want to know. Matthew 28. Well, one problem, folks. I'm in Matthew 28, and it doesn't have 20 words. It doesn't have 20 verses. What do you do when your text says Matthew 28 and 20?
Oh boy.
And you don't have 28.
We erased it.
Well, does Matthew have... We're going to go back to Matthew 20, 28. See if that's what I want. Matthew, 20. Matthew 28.
A little dyslexia, perhaps?
28. Oh, we're in Matthew 20. Yep, 20. Is that 28 here? We do, but it's not the right one.
Interesting.
So, oh no, Jeff, you're ruining the whole show. What do you do? Well, the first thing is you don't panic. You don't panic. You don't panic. You just go up here and you write to the, I wanted the Matthew verse about, I will never leave you nor forsake you, even to the end of the age. Oops. I'll never leave you nor forsake you, even to the end of the age. See, that doesn't really give me, I think it's that one right there, just because I know. But this is what Jesus said in Matthew 13 and 40. I don't know. I was wrong. Boy, I'm batting 1,000 tonight. But all we have to do is
Can't
go
be
back
perfect.
up here again. Leave nor forsake. And then we'll go into the New Testament. See, sometimes a little bit of work. And I'm looking for Jesus that said, I will never leave you.
You'll
nor
find it.
forsake you. I'm with you always. There it is. Even to the end of the earth. I have Matthew 28:20. That's your homework. That's your homework. That is your homework. But let me ask you a question. If in this verse that we're looking at, what are we looking at? We're looking at. Pardon me. We are looking at. Trying to get back to that page. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 10. Okay, I have to ask you to help me with this. Because I don't know it. I can't figure it out on my own. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 10. We're confident. I didn't show it to you. Or did I? Yeah, we got it going up here. We are confident, folks. Now I went and distracted myself. That's bad. So we are confident, he says. We are confident that while we are away from God, while we're in this body, God ain't nowhere around. We're confident of that, they said. They are confident that they are away from their God. But their God just told us
how confident are they?
that he will never leave us nor forsake us.
Forsake
to
you.
The end of the age. So how can we believe this God?
Can't.
We really can't, can we?
Nope.
Surely I'm with you always, even to the end of the age. How can he say over here in Matthew, or excuse me, in 2 Corinthians, that when we're in the body, we're absent from the Lord, and yet he says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you? Yes, it's a contradiction, but it's not really a contradiction because he's sort of telling the truth.
Yeah.
you have to remember who wrote this. Who wrote this chapter?
Soviet
Who wrote
regime
this
did.
book? Paul, the rabbi Pharisee, wrote this book.
Dun, dun, dun.
In Matthew, the tax collector, who we know was Jewish, wrote the book. where Jesus
Jewish
said,
tax
"I'm with
collector?
you
No
always to the
way.
end of the age." My point being that the audience for both 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and the audience for Matthew, Matthew, the verse in Matthew, the audience for them was probably almost exclusively a Jewish audience. Almost exclusively a Jewish audience.
Interesting.
So what he's saying to you is, between Paul and Jesus, they're saying, look, you think that if you play really nice, that you're going to go through a judgment, and if you're doing good, we're going to let you go. That's what you think. But the truth is that these words, I'm with you always, even to the end of the age, that was written for the people that it was written for, and the people that heard it and understood it is who it was originally written for. Now watch this in Hebrews, I hope. Hebrews chapter 13, and we'll go to verse number 5. Oh, Jeff, you're pulling out of context. But he said, let 2 or 3 witnesses, right? And this says, he has said to thee, and they even say it talking about Jesus, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. But we just got done reading in 2 Corinthians, when you're in the body, you're absent from the Lord. It's not for you. This I'll never leave you. I'm with you always, even to the end of the age. It's not for you. It's for the Jewish people it was written to. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee in the book of Hebrews. Well, that's written to the Hebrews. And I see in the chat room it's written to be confusing. And it is. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Who's it for? Not for you. And if you don't believe me, did you know that Jesus is quoting another verse here? Jesus is quoting another verse. And if he's quoting a verse, don't you think you ought to know where he's quoting the verse from? Well, I do. It's in the book of Deuteronomy. Whoa, Jeff. That's weird for it to be in the book of Deuteronomy. It really is kind of weird for it to be in the book of Deuteronomy, isn't it? Deuteronomy 31. And we'll just go right down to 6. Does this who he's talking to? Moses encourages the people. Who were Moses' people? Oh, well, it tells us right here.
Chosen people.
Moses' people were Israel. And where did Jesus get the words he said? The Lord thy God, he will not fail thee, nor will he forsake thee. Do you think if it's written in the Jewish scriptures and it's spoken by Jewish writers in the New Testament, spoken by Jewish people in the New Testament to Jewish ears, that it might be for the Jewish people and not for you? That's a little thing called context. I know sometimes it bugs you, but that's just the way it is. And oh yeah, remember we said we don't want to, we want to make sure there's 2 or 3 witnesses. Joshua chapter 1, all the way down to 5. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee, says the Lord. To who? To the Jew. Christians are trying to steal
not Jew.
blessings from Jewish people. That's anti-Semitic. It bothers me. It makes me sick. What are you guys laughing about? What are you guys laughing about? Deuteronomy 31:6 is what Jesus was quoting. The I in the I will never leave you is Yahweh in the Old Testament, Jesus in the New Testament. Same entity. And I will never leave you nor forsake you.
Same
It's
Archon.
the chosen people. It's not you. It's the Jew. You are trying to steal the promises of the great Jewish people, you bunch of anti-Semitic bastards. I'm personally disgusted. Wow, guys. Wow. That was pretty strong just right there, wasn't it? That was pretty strong just
pretty
right
strong.
there. It's not for you. It's for the Jew.
Pretty
And then
straightforward.
we get to verse 7. And in verse 7, I see a real slap in the face there. A slap in the Christians' faces, which might come in handy. Despite what the people in the pews say and what the preachers in the pulpit and on YouTube preach, and by the way, David Vose said that he would debate me, but now he's kind of disappeared, so I don't know if he really will or not. But next Wednesday night, we will have Jim Rizzoli on the channel to have a discussion about Christianity. Is it Jewish? Is it for white people? What did Hitler think about it? That's next Wednesday. Probably a Rockman exclusive. What do you think? Maybe a Rockman exclusive on that one, but you'll have a lot of fun.
Well, you can
Trust me.
top dance around that.
No matter what all these people say,
You got to call him the Great
we all
Chancellor.
know that Christianity is addicted to prophecy, sight, and signs. They don't walk by faith. And we're going to discuss that, but we're going to look at it straight in the scripture again, what we were just talking about, which was 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And see how easy it is? I haven't showed it to you yet, but it's so easy to navigate through.
It's so
one of
easy.
these
It's
things.
so
I'm so
easy.
intimidated. No, it's very, very easy. If you can work your iPhone, you can damn sure work Bible Hub and
Or
get
Android.
some enlightenment into your noggin, because some of y'all need it. Some of y'all need Odin. Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, hail
Some of
Odin.
y'all need Odin badly.
Yeah.
You do. You thought you needed Jesus, but you were wrong.
No,
2 Corinthians
only
5,
him.
6. Now, verse 7. We walk by faith,
Odin
not
had a
by
way
sight.
better beard
See
than
it
the
right there,
Jesus
right?
character.
We walk by faith, not by sight. Let's break it down just a little bit. This is a slap in your face, Christians. I'm going to tell you. For we walk, isn't that interesting that it's Hebraistically? This is a Hebrew term. Wow, that's kind of crazy, Jeff. Yeah, it's a Hebrew term. Wow. We walk by faith, he says. What's faith? By faith, belief, trust, confidence, fidelity, and faithfulness. They live by being persuaded, supposedly, by coming to trust. They walk, their faith is based on what they've come to trust.
I'll come.
Remember that. Remember that. They walk by faith, not by sight. Visible form, shape, appearance, kind. Visible form, shape, appearance, kind. Faith is you don't have to see anything, but you still believe. Sight is I got to see it to believe it.
No.
So it says, they say that you walk by faith, but then they hook you with sight. You ever notice that? Because what is Christians hooked on? Prophecy.
Adrenochrome.
How do you know about prophecy? Well, you have to learn the signs of the times, don't you? Prophecy is all about signs.
Sign,
Prophecy is all about
everywhere, sign.
seeing something, a visible form, a shape, an appearance. It's all about signs. That's what Christianity has become all about today. All about. I want to know. I got to see a sign. I'm walking. I know I'm supposed to walk by faith, but I want to see it. And every one of the, how come these YouTube channels don't talk about faith? No, they talk about the signs of the times.
Gotta have
coming,
faith,
the second
faith,
coming,
faith.
blah, blah, blah.
Baby.
Because they do walk by sight. You know I'm right. They are demanding prophetic words.
Sounds
They're
like a woman,
demanding
always
prophetic
demanding
instruction. I
stuff.
get more requests to teach Revelation and Daniel more than anything else. Teach it to you. Why? Because people want to know about prophecy. And it's the Christian's fault, the Christian prophecy pimps. Why do they want to know about prophecy more than anything else? Well, Jeff, it's really interesting. Jeff, it's right. No. It's because you got really used to sucking tit.
Ooh, I
And
like
not in the
sucking
fun
tit.
way, in the like you're a little piglet suckling up to a big piggy way.
I prefer to suck tit. So, plural.
And the funny thing is,
Gotta
they
do
told
both
you
sides.
don't walk by faith, but by sight. But they want to convince you to walk by sight, and then they make it impossible for you to be saved. We walk by faith, not by sight. And Christianity is set up to make it impossible for you to walk by sight.
Hmm.
And I'm about to prove it. Because what is sight again? Sight is the visible form, the shape, the appearance, the kind, fashion, shape, sight, visible form, shape. It's all about seeing, isn't it? What's prophecy all about? Seeing the signs of the times. I don't want to do this to you. This is like a real smack. Okay, maybe I do want to do it to you. But I want to do it to you in a loving way. I want to
do it to you in a nice, loving way.
This is a lovely, kind love smack. It is a
Do
smack of
smile.
love. It is a smack of compassion. It is a smack of care. But oh, it is a smack. So,
I'll smack him in the face.
an evil. Anybody want to be evil? Not that way. Do you want to be evil? Do you want to be adulterous? Not that way. You know what I'm saying. Does anybody want to be a part of an evil and adulterous generation? No. We don't want to be a part of that. But what is an evil and adulterous generation? They're those that seek after a sign. Because remember, you're not supposed to be seeking after signs. You're supposed to be seeking after faith. But Jeff, how do you know? Well, let's look. 39. Seeking after a sign. What's a sign? A sign, a miracle, a token, an indication, a mark, a token. It's the visible manifestation of something that's happened, isn't it? But Jesus just said it's only the wicked and the adulterous that hand a sign. But our last verse just read and showed that you live by looking at prophecy. So they have put you in a box that you can't extricate yourself from. They have put you in a box from which you cannot extricate yourself. And most of you don't even care. Most of you don't
I don't
even
mind going
care.
inside a box.
I can't even fathom it, but most of you don't even care. Wow. And now verse number 8. We're confident then and would rather prefer to be away from the body and at home with the Lord. Then why don't you just kill yourself tonight? You see what they're saying? We would prefer. What's the word prefer mean? See, these aren't blue yet. I can't look
The
them up.
extras don't have the balls to do that.
We would prefer. We would be well pleased. We'd be super duper happy if we were absent from the body. What does that mean in Christian terms? Dead. So we could be at home with the Lord. Christianity has produced a religion of a bunch of zombies who would rather be dead. You are taught by your Christianity to forsake our beautiful world, and unless you are brain dead, any of you people out there, this is the surrender of heathens, the surrender of pagans to Christianity. It can't be made any more clear. Do you want to be a part of a religion that would prefer to be dead? You're like the guy with the laptops and the tennis shoes. Heaven's Gate, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it's the same thing. You guys are a pair of Converse away from starting a cult.
Old school cons.
Wow.
The cons cult.
You're being taught that you'd rather be dead. Look for the signs and come kill me. Come quickly, Lord Jesus, kill me.
Oh, jeez.
You're taught forsake the beautiful world, and this facilitates
No,
forever
thanks.
the
Ain't worth it,
of your
Jesus
heathen,
kebab.
heathen, pagan nature.
That's right.
If you allow it to be done to you, I recommend you don't allow it to be done to you.
Definitely not. No,
And
thank you.
based on some things that you have allowed to be done to you, I also recommend Nanosoma. Nanosoma goes into your body and it optimizes your
I didn't let
body
anything
to
do,
drop
didn't
out of
do
it
to
anything
me.
that's not supposed to be
No
in it. And some
Soviet
of you
regime
have
in
put some
me.
stuff in your body that's not supposed to be there. And you need to get it out of you. Of course, I'm talking
Probably
about
a
your
good
bad date last weekend. Go to jeffreydarty.com, hit the Nanosoma button, and you will be very, very glad that you did. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Folks, I almost feel bad doing this to you again. But I got to take you back into that scripture.
Oh,
I got to
the
take you back into
script.
that part of the text. And I've got to show you now verse number 9. And it is so pathetic and so, it's really heartrending if I actually allow myself to open up to empathy for these, I was going to say idiots, yeah. Verse number 9. So we aspire to please him because we know we're going to die. We're just trying to hang on till Jesus comes. So we aspire to please him, whether we are here in the body or away from it. Look at how disgusting this is. We aspire. We seek after to honor. We're zealous. We strive. We desire very strongly to please, to be well-pleasing, to be acceptable, to be grateful. We want so much to be pleasing to him. If a woman said this about her husband in a counseling session, you would correctly identify her as being the victim of abuse.
Yep.
It always amazes me that most of the people in a Christian church are women, usually about 70%.
What a shock.
And yet, you would never put up with a man where you had to work so hard and walk on eggshells to try to please him. Because you know he's going to whip your ass. Only this one's going to throw you in the lake of fire.
I don't mind whipping ass. Just
You don't
lightly.
even want a
Little love
husband like
taps.
this.
Little love
Ladies,
whips.
why do you want a God like this? What is wrong with you?
That's the question.
Lots.
It's a fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix that you're enslaved by. Now watch verse number 10. And just in case you missed it here, you're very afraid you're going to not please him. He's just about to tell you about the judgment seat. You're all worried about not pleasing him.
Please me.
You're pathetic. You're like beaten housewives.
I don't mind if they beat me.
You know, they've done Hollywood
In a good way.
Housewives. They've done Jersey Housewives. How come they never done a show Beaten Housewives? There's a Grammy Award.
Well, they
winner
could
right
beat
there.
themselves because
And
they
I'm
are
in really, really
MTFs.
big trouble.
All
It's
of them.
partially a
The
comedy
real
show,
house.
folks.
When you have to see the
It's
real
partially a
housewives, that
comedy
means they're not real.
show. I mean, just look at the jacket, right?
MTFs for sure.
So,
Look
now
at
we go to
them all.
verse number 10.
Not even
And now
real.
we're getting to the meat and the potatoes. The
Meat and
nitty-gritty, as Nacho
potatoes.
Libre would say.
Yum.
So, bring on the fear porn. And just in case
Fear
you
porn
missed
for
it
all.
the very first time, look at what the beginning of this says. It says, where is it? For we must. Let me go back one. Let me go back to my King James. There was something really profound there that I don't see here. Let me go back to my King James. Let me go back to my King James. Is this King James? It is. Where is it?
Sure, he would
We're
love if you
almost
backed
there.
up into him.
Therefore, knowing the terror of the Lord. This word is fear right here. And oh, Jeff, that just means. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but let's just concentrate. Remember this. For we must. It is necessary. It is a duty. You are going to stand
He
in
said
judgment. What a
duty.
horrible. You don't even like to go to a judgment here on the earth. Why do you want to go there?
No.
Oh, you think you have to. We must all appear. You got to show up. You can't pay your bill. You can't hire a lawyer. You got to go and show up. I I mean, I've never even been a part of a church that taught that Jesus was going to be there for you. At the judgment, you're going to be there. We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that one may receive. What's receive mean? That you may bear or
No,
carry.
you'll receive all right.
Receive back, that you may bear or carry, that you may receive for the things, the demonstrative acts
Ho, hey, ho.
that you did, so that you might receive your due.
Oh, they're due all right.
You're going to get back what you have. You're going to sow what you've reaped. You're going to reap what you've sown, whether good or bad, wicked. And then what happens if you come up
Wicked.
short?
Wicked
You know what happens
awesome.
if you come up short? You get toasted and roasted and broasted and boiled and fried for the rest of your life.
Oh, good.
And there's a huge hidden secret there. A huge hidden secret there. But we'll get back to it. So now we're going to go on to verse 11. And just in case you missed it the first time, if you haven't soiled your undergarments yet for having to appear before the judgment seat of Christ, therefore, since we all know what it means to fear the Lord, and of course that's a very, very, that's a little bitchy translation. Watch this. We know what it means to fear the Lord. It makes it sound like we don't, but we know what it means to fear the Lord. Look what King James said, and we're going to break down the knowing therefore the terror of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You notice a little difference? You think they might have tried to soften it a little bit? Knowing therefore.
He is
Let's
pretty
just look at it
soft
in the
and
interlinear. See what
flaccid
it really says.
on that
You go up
cross.
here and you press the interlinear when it's all blue. Okay, so knowing therefore the fear of the Lord. Do you see that? It's so plain and simple, and yet these guys back here softened it. Therefore, we know what it means to fear the Lord. That's not what it says. What it says is, we know. We know. We have perceived, considered, we got this part down. We know what the fear of the Lord is. Oh, Jeff, that just means respect. You're just supposed to respect the Lord. Oh, really? Why don't you interpretate this? What are you supposed to do to the Lord? Panic, flight, fear, terror, alarm, cause of fear. Holy crap. Oh, we're just supposed to no, you're supposed to fear him. So
Fear the wrath of God. Dun, dun, dun.
So they got to double down on that fear. Knowing the fear of the Lord, what do? Knowing the fear of the Lord, we try to persuade men. We go out and we evangelize. We go out and try to scare the hell out of other people. We are a controlled robot. We go out and try to have our virus replicate in other people so they'll become controlled robots. We try to persuade men. And you got to do it to have a clear conscience. Do you see what they're doing to you? Why do you continue to let them do it?
Because your brain wants.
Why do you continue to let them do it? But remember, I told you there's a big secret, a really big secret in that verse that we talked about. We all must appear before the judgment seat of Christ, verse number 10. There's a huge secret in verse number 10, and it seals the deal. I'm just wondering if I should keep it on YouTube. I'm just wondering, should I keep it on YouTube? Yeah, I think I can keep it on YouTube. So let's keep it on YouTube. Pretty sure I'm keeping it on YouTube. Might have to jump at some point, but I'm good right now. So, Remember in verse number 10, let me go ahead and pull this back up for you. In verse number 10, if you'll recall, in verse number 10, I could have swore that door opened. It's kind of a weird night for me. In Second Corinthians chapter 5, verses number 10, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. Remember, this was called, what was this called? The judgment seat of Christ.
Christos.
I'm just trying to highlight it. What it is, who he is. Let's talk about what it is. And this is going to blow your freaking mind. When you see what this is, it's going to blow your freaking mind. Judgment. Bema. Some of you just went, holy crap.
Bema.
Some of you are really smart.
Bema, Yoko Ono.
Some of you not so much, but you're catching up. Bema. No, Jeff, it can't say Bema.
I want to drive a Bema.
Why is that important? Do you know what a Bema is?
Nice
I
car.
guess if you're from New Jersey, that's a BMW car, right? That's my Bema. But no, we're not talking about that. Do you know what a Bema is? Where do you see this? Wait till you see this. What a Bema is. I don't think you're going to believe me. I don't think you're going to believe me, but I will turn it on anyway. What is a Bema? Okay. It was kind of little in that Bible, on that Bible hub, so I just want to show it to you. Bema. We're into verse 10 right now. It's little thing we like to call the money shot. Bema is
Show
word
me the money.
968, judgment seat. It's the word 968 in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. What does it mean? It means a platform, a tribunal chair where rewards and punishments are meted out. That's scary. Can you believe that the God of love, who loves you so much, is
And
gonna
that's
make you
not
walk
the
up to platform
diabolical
to receive
part.
judgment, to be placed on tribunal, and to either get rewarded or punished? All your stuff's going to be for everybody to see. Some of that you don't want nobody seeing. Some of that you don't even want to think about.
Nope.
And some of you watch it in the mirror. I don't know. I can't figure it out. What's with you people? You like pretend it's porn? Well, I guess that's self-directed porn, isn't it? Gee, buddy, Christmas.
Gotta get the right angle.
It's not, tribal porn, so hey. I changed my mind. Have at it. Just remember to direct your argon energy to their defeat and our victory. All right, so.
Of course.
But that's not the diabolical part of what a Bema is. I'm wondering how many knows what a Bema is. I'm looking up here to see if I see anybody talking about a Bema. I don't think many people get it yet. It's a deep one, admittedly. It's a deep one, admittedly. All right, let's just jump right in it. What is a Bema? Well, first of all, I have to set up a little context. Because it was Paul who wrote 2 Corinthians. Paul, who was a rabbi. Paul, who was a Pharisee, by his own confession. Philippians chapter 3, verse 5. I was circumcised on the 8th day. Why would he have been circumcised on the 8th day if he wasn't Jewish? Jesus was also circumcised on the 8th day.
They just love hacking off members.
Jewish? Really weird. Maybe this had a really strange fetish. He liked to have people cut off into his penis every, now and then, every 13 years. Some people have weird things going on. Circumcised on the 8th day of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, which was Israel's combined nation. Benjamin is the southern nation, where you get Judah, where you get the word Jew, a Hebrew of Hebrews, from the other side, from the land beyond, a Pharisee.
The ice wall.
It was a Pharisee that
You're
wrote
on
these
the
words.
ice wall.
And the Pharisee wrote the word Bema. So what does the word Bema mean to a Pharisaic rabbi like Saul of Tarsus? Well, he was a Jew. He was a rabbi, right? And in Judaism, the Bema is the place in the Jewish synagogue that is used for Torah reading during the services. The Bema. They read the Torah in the Bema. They read the Torah in the Bema. We could probably make one of those Jewish songs.
Torah Bima, Torah Bima.
We can make a song if we wanted to, but we really don't want to right now. But the Bema judges is the Torah is the standard of judgment on the Bema, looks to me. And then Jesus, who was also a rabbi, said it's written, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Jewish guy, talking to Jewish people. Who's the mouth of God? What's every word? Torah. Talmud. Wow. What's a bema? The focal point of the synagogue sanctuary. And you're told that you must stand at the bema, but it's the central point of the synagogue. Why if I'm not... Oh, you know why you have to appear at the central point of the synagogue? Because if you're a Christian, you are part of the synagogue of Satan.
Yep.
I didn't stutter, and I'm pretty sure that your ears didn't flap.
Synagogue Satan.
If you're a Christian, you're part of the synagogue of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people that are Jews but say they're not. I know what you heard, but that's an inversion. That's an inversion. The real verse is, those that are of the synagogue of Satan are not those that say they're Jew, that are Jews and say they're not. It's those that are, I always mess that up, but you know what I'm talking about. What is the bema? Wow.
Twin tongue twister.
It's the raised platform in the synagogue from which Torah is read. It's representative of the ark.
And services led. Oh yeah, there are lots of services
so
going on
there.
there.
So if you're going to
sure.
the bema judgment of Christ, it looks like you're gonna be subject to Torah. Wow. Wow. And it's also a theater stage. Get ready, because everybody's gonna be watching your stuff. Everybody gonna be watching your stuff.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
The bema. Matthew 4:4. Is kosher disclosure. If you accept Jewianity, you will be judged by all Torah. What's Matthew 4:4 say? Let me remind myself of that. Matthew 4:4. I won't make you watch. Matthew 4.
I like to watch.
And 4. No, I don't have that one memorized, right? Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. It sure looks to me, Christian, like Jesus is going to judge you according to Torah too, if you accept Jewianity. Rabbi Jesus will see you now at the bema. Well, that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yep.
That's a different kettle of fish. Rabbi Jesus will meet you at the bema.
That's not a good thing.
Which is where they keep the Torah, and you're going to be judged because the scrolls are open. If they're on the Torah bema, what scrolls do you think they're opening? Probably Torah. How will you fare in a judgment based on Torah? I think you'll probably wind up feeling horrible afterwards. Rabbi Jesus will judge Christians. Jeff, Jesus wasn't a rabbi. I've done this too many times. I'm going to do it one more time to prove that, yes, Jesus was a rabbi. And one verse gets rid of forever the silly comeback that Christians will say, no, the word rabbi when applied to Jesus just meant teacher. No, and the sad part is that most people that say that, some people that say that know they're lying. What is worse to you? What is worse to you? The person that knows they're lying when they say that, or the person that's too stupid to check and see if the person that they heard said it and they're repeating it from without knowing the truth? Who's worse? Is it the lying preacher or the dummy in the pew that believes without doing the homework themselves? What's worse? I don't know. It's an interesting question. But let's put this to bed forever. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. And just to make it fun, remember the word ruler in this verse means archon. So not only does it go the way it goes, but Jesus is also hanging out with archons. There was a man of the Pharisees. He was a ruler. See the word right there, archon. And let me make it more clear for you, archon. So Jesus was talking to the archons. There's the name of a band right there, Jesus and the Archons. That's a number one record.
I think Pen 15's a better name.
So this Archon comes to Jesus. And what did he say to Jesus? What did he say to Jesus? He said, Rabbi. That word is Rahabi.
Rahabi.
That is a teacher, scholar, recognized by the Jewish public for accumulating a great number of Bible facts, i.e. respected for his knowledge. He is a Jewish rabbi.
Yep.
A Jewish
rabbi on a stick.
Well, Jeff, it just means respect. No, because watch. Rabbi. We
No
know you're
respect.
a teacher. Didaskalos. A teacher, an instructor. There are people that are teachers and instructors that are not rabbis. Jesus was a teacher and instructor that was a rabbi. But and that disproves forever they called him teacher, they didn't call him rabbi. No, you're lying, and either you know it or you're really, really, really lazy, and I can't decide which one is worse. But I want you to notice the second part of that verse. Notice the second part of that verse. Then I'll show you a great little slide that I made for it. But let's look at the second part of that verse.
Just great.
Rabbi, you're a teacher. He was a Jew. He was married. He was a rabbi who has come from God. Jewish guy, Jewish Pharisee, saying to Jewish Jesus, you've come from God. He's talking about their God. So Jesus was a Jewish rabbi that hung out with archons that came to us from the evil, wicked, nasty God of the Bible.
Lovely.
But here's the real thing. No one could perform the signs you're doing if God were not with him. There's a couple of really big things here. Number one, Jesus was a Jewish rabbi,
maybe a few
come
big
from
things.
the Jewish God of Yahweh, performing signs using the power of the Jewish God. That means that the miracles of Jesus, if they were real, were Kabbalistic black magic miracles.
Yep.
That you cannot deny. It's right there in the text. But there's something else in the text. You remember? I just proved, by the way, that if Jesus was real and if Jesus was a miracle worker, I just proved that he was a miracle worker through Kabbalistic black magic.
Well, he is an archon.
But one thing jumped onto me, and it wasn't Cynthia then. Signs.
You dog.
The wicked adulterous generation seeks for a sign. Christians have to see prophetic signs these days. So Christians have to see these signs, which proves that they're wicked and adulterous, and it also proves people that are teaching them are wicked and adulterous, but follow it the rest of the way. You couldn't perform the signs. What are signs? Well, what are they? Miracles.
Simeon. Marcus
Jesus
Simeon?
couldn't do the miracles. He couldn't have walked on water without the power of Yahweh.
I walked on
Raised
water
the dead.
with the help
Turned
of
water into
water
wine.
skis, and I kicked them off.
Turned
And
into
hey, I was
whiskey
still
when they
walking
weren't
on
pressing
water.
the 2 trees.
No
I'm just
sandals
saying.
required.
Miracle. It also means mark.
The
Like,
water
is that
sandals,
like mark of the
maybe.
beast mark? Ooh,
Ooh, mock of
that'd be
the
an interesting
beast.
study, wouldn't it? No one could perform these signs. Oh, I'm reminded of Mark 16. Mark 16. Please be the last chapter in Mark. Yep. Mark 16. Go all the way to the end.
Right to the end.
And these signs shall follow them that believe. These signs. You're not supposed to be looking for signs. Signs are bad. These signs shall follow them that believe. It used to be that you knew that people were true because they have love one for another. And you still can tell that between the pagans and the heathens.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell it from the Christians anymore.
Nope.
Because no, they all need prophetic signs.
They do indeed.
They all need prophetic signs.
I saw the sign.
Right?
Been up my eyes, I saw the sign.
But let's go back a minute to that last one that we were talking about with the shoot. Where were we back here with the signs? This is important. Signs. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. So we're back with the 2 Corinthians chapter 5, looking again at signs. Oh, it's so powerful, it's so deep, and I'm not on my A game tonight, so you'll just have to work with me.
Work it.
You'll just have to work with me. Let's go to, let me see what I'm sharing right now. I'm doing this a weird way tonight. Let me stop that one. And let's go and look at our original text. Is it 2 Corinthians 5, right? Getting back to this signs thing. All right. Well, we walk by faith, not by sight. Again, this word sight means signs. We'll look at it one more time. We walk by faith, not by sight. What are signs? Visible things, shapes, appearance, appearance, form, fashion, sight, outward show. Signs of the times. Signs of the times, folks. Signs of the times. What does this show? This shows that every single person that is Christian is following the signs of prophecy, which makes them followers of signs, which means they don't have faith. And Jesus said they're wicked and adulterous. So every single one of you following Rabbi Jesus has been tricked into becoming wicked and adulterous, not only in your own world, but wicked and adulterous in the world of your brothers and your sisters, your red, yellow, black,
You're
white
just pure evil.
brothers and sisters, depending upon who you are. You're disqualifying yourself on both occasions, so you can come back again, so they can trick you again. It's really a very, very sad story what's going on to you.
Very, very sad indeed.
Really a sad
They
story
don't even know
about
what's
going
going
on
on.
to you.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit sad that I wasn't able to give you a better presentation of it tonight, but wow, what can you do? What can you say? what can you say? It makes it very, very clear. It makes it very, very easy. And yet, still people will refuse to see. Wow. I guess I could have stayed on YouTube that whole time. I did.
Even if it's staring them right in the face,
On
they
Rockfin the whole
won't,
time. I did.
won't believe it.
Wow. Tomorrow night, I can't even tell you what we're going to talk about. Monday night, we got something amazing as well. I got a lot of good stuff in the hopper, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of good stuff. Wow. Kind of a weird night tonight, kind of an odd night tonight, but you know what? That's okay. I know what happened, and we'll make sure that we correct that in the future. Just a weird night, but some very, very good information.
Weird is good sometimes.
I hope that you will make sure. Oh, I did the right thing. Is that crazy? That you don't go and bend a knee to somebody else's savior. You divine, sovereign, and free. My place is gone.
He's coughing up a storm there. He couldn't even finish. Hopefully he's okay for tomorrow.